Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking all about the first things women actually notice about guys. So what really matters and what doesn't. I think some of you guys get really fixated on things that you think matter a lot, when in reality, girls don't even notice these things at first, and you'll be totally fine not worrying about them. So today I'm going to be going over the first things that women actually notice, and I'll be honest, a lot of these are pretty shallow. A lot of these are first impressions. We're judgmental humans. We notice things. We pay attention to looks. I think that's just the way things are. While we might make our first assumptions about someone based on surface level things like what they look like on the outside, it's once you really get to know someone that you decide if you genuinely like them or not. So stick around with me until the end, because there's some things on here that are not just the way that you look. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to be in the loop for when I release new content. I post videos every Wednesday through Sunday, and I have some really fun, exciting things planned that you will not want to miss, so make sure you subscribe. Number one, the most obvious one out of all of them, your face. So even with a mask on, we're noticing your face first. That is the first thing you see when you're speaking to someone, when you're meeting someone. It just is what it is. And contrary to popular belief, I am not going to be looking at your shoes before I look at your face. So we're all attracted to different things, obviously. What one woman might find attractive, another may not. So just some small things that a woman is going to notice on your face that might help you. Your jawline, how well you take care of your facial hair, if you have facial hair, your eyes. I know you can't really control that one, but I think the main thing about your face is just how well you take care of it. So are you well groomed? Do you have dry, flaky skin everywhere on your face, which makes it evident that you don't have a skincare routine like I've been telling you all to have. So there's a lot of small things you can do that make a huge difference when it comes to grooming, and I've seen a lot of guys make a lot of mistakes, and I did a whole video on that already. So if you haven't seen that one already, be sure to check it out. I'll put the link down in the description below. So the big takeaway here is to take care of yourself regardless of the genetic cards you've been given. Some of us are more attractive than others. We were born that way. It is what it is, but it's all about how you work with what you've got that makes you stand out. So good grooming habits show that you take care of yourself, which is incredibly attractive to women, which leads me into my next point, your hair. I've done videos all about which hairstyles girls love, and it's definitely something that girls notice. But if you're bald or you have gray hair, don't worry, a lot of girls are very into that, including me. So as long as you're taking good care of your hair, you're gonna be good to go. And it's important to know the type of hair that you have and the required maintenance that it needs. So if your hair is very long, you like to keep it long, you're not someone that cuts your hair very short, then I would just say get the ends trimmed up so that you don't get split ends. If your hair's curly, make sure you're using the right products to enhance those curls. It's all about, like I said, working with what you've got. Some girls are gonna be into you, some girls aren't. We all have preferences. Some of you guys prefer blondes, some of you guys prefer brunettes. Everyone has preferences, so understand that regardless of what you do, someone is not going to like you, and that's okay, because there's going to be someone out there that does. So the next thing a girl's going to notice is your clothes or your style. So your clothes and your style say a lot about your personality and how you choose to represent yourself, especially if it's a first date, if it's an interview, if it's something where you want to make a good first impression. They say a lot about you. And I don't want you guys to dress like someone you're not. I say that all the time. I like to give you guys suggestions, but I don't want you all to just look like cookie cutter versions of the next guy. You have to add your own personal style. You have to add your own personal flair to things and dress like who you are, but just show up for yourself. If you know that you have to look nice for something like an interview or a first date, like I said, just represent yourself in the best light. And girls are not going to be attracted to things like what brand you're wearing. If you're wearing a Gucci t-shirt versus a white t-shirt, I would argue you probably look worse. So it's not about the brands that you're wearing, it's about how your clothes are fitting you, the clothing that you're choosing to wear. Make sure your clothes are not ripped, torn up, stained. Just make sure you're looking the best you possibly can. It's one thing to have nice clothes, but if you know how to style them to make them even better, girls are going to notice this. So that is when you're going to accessorize. You're going to add some layers in there. You're going to show that you know what you're doing, and it's going to make her notice. Pro tip here, girls love layers, I've said it before, and guys who accessorize. So another important thing in your clothes and style are your shoes. So while a girl is going to notice your face before your shoes, she's still going to notice your shoes, and And that's just with anything. Your shoes can make or break your entire outfit. They say a lot about you. I know that's stupid, it sounds silly, but think about a guy you know that doesn't take care of any of his stuff and he's walking around in beaten up shoes. It says a lot about him, right? And a guy that takes really good care of his shoes probably takes care of his things. So just like clothes, it doesn't really matter what brand or what type you're wearing. You're gonna wanna wear something that fits your personality and your style, and make sure that you're taking care of them. So get the scuffs off, make sure they're not torn up, and invest in some good quality shoes that are gonna last you and not get destroyed. So the biggest thing to take away from the clothes, style, shoes aspect of this is a guy that shows up for himself, a guy that takes care of himself. Same thing goes with grooming. A guy that takes care of himself is so attractive. You don't need to look like a model. You don't need to look like a mannequin, but just show that you're taking care of your body, your grooming, your clothes, and just really wanting to look like the best version of yourself. You don't need to look like that when you're at home lounging around. You can wear sweatpants and a hoodie or a t-shirt or whatever the heck you want to wear. And honestly, you can make a very casual outfit look nice if it fits you and you're taking care of your things. Number 4, we have body language. So I would argue that this is one of the most important things on the list. You can learn a lot about a person based on their body language. So the way you carry yourself is so important, and I feel like not enough guys know this. So are you inviting or are you standoffish? This is going to be a huge determining factor on if someone feels like they can talk to you or not, just based on the way that you're standing and the way that you're carrying yourself. So a guy who is talking with his hands, who is not putting his hands in his pockets or crossing his arms, is going to look a lot more warm and welcoming than someone who is just standing off in the corner with his arms crossed or his hands in his pocket. So stand up straight, have some confidence, get your hands out of your pockets, uncross those arms, and look like you are someone that is easy to talk to. Another big thing here is eye contact and a smile. If you're talking to someone, you should be making eye contact with them instead of looking off or looking at the ground. It just makes you look more approachable and also like you're listening to someone when you're looking at them. I know a lot of people have problems with making eye contact, but it's just really giving someone your full attention and showing them that you're listening. Number 5, your hands. So I mentioned in a past video that I have a friend who is really into hands, and I know that sounded so weird and bizarre, but she basically just said when she first meets a guy, one of the first things she notices are his hands and if he has good hands or not. So if you're meeting someone for the first time, they're going to notice your hands, especially if you're someone like me. I talk with my hands all the time. It's probably really annoying to watch, but that's just how I am. So a girl is going to notice this. Keep your fingernails trimmed, like I mentioned in the grooming video. Don't keep them really long with like dirt and germs caked underneath them. If you have to have your nails long, say if you play guitar or something like that, that's totally understandable and a little bit different. If it's for something you love and you enjoy doing, I think it's different. But just take good care of them, file them down so they're not super long, and make sure you're not getting a ton of dirt and gross stuff underneath them. I will say here also, I see a lot of guys with very dry, like cracked hands, and I know a lot of you guys work with your hands. That's just kind of the nature of your work, your lifestyle, but I would recommend using lotion. And I know a lot of you guys don't like lotion. My boyfriend and my dad both think lotion feels really greasy and gross, so if you're in that boat, I totally get it. But I would recommend, if you're someone with dry, flaky, caked hands, to use lotion at bedtime. That way you're not working during the day with the lotion on your hands, but you're still getting that moisture that you need. Number 6, a girl is gonna notice a fragrance. So this is one of those things that it's not a deal breaker or like awful if you don't wear a fragrance, but if you do wear a fragrance, it makes you stand out, it makes you approachable, it makes you feel warm and inviting, and girls love a nice fragrance. If you go in to hug a guy that you just met and he smells amazing, it's an instant turn on, guys, I promise. Also, another thing I'll say here is having a signature scent is going to remind her of you every time she smells it. So have a scent that you like to wear around her. I promise it'll make a huge difference. Don't spray a ton, don't overspray to where you're choking her out when she gives you a hug and she's like, oh God, I hope he doesn't wear that again. Just lightly, you don't need to overdo it. I promise if she goes in for the hug, she's gonna notice and she's gonna love it. Number 7, we have communication/mannerisms. So how are you speaking to her? How are you speaking to the people around you? How are you treating the people around you and her? It's important to pay attention to the way that you're acting, the way that you're speaking, because it says volumes about you. Another thing here is if you're talking to her, is the conversation really awkward or is it flowing okay? Now that's gonna also depend on the girl that you're talking to. Sometimes you do just won't vibe with someone, but it's important to develop social skills so that no matter what situation you're in, you can keep a conversation going and you can make things not feel awkward. Girls pick up on little things like this, as do other people as well. If you're having a conversation with someone, if you walk away from it thinking, oh my gosh, that was awful, that's never a good thing. So if you can have a good conversation, if you have a nice vocabulary, if you can speak well, it makes you more attractive. Social skills are something that I know a ton of you guys struggle with. It's something that I have even struggled with in the past, and I think it's just going to get worse with the rise of social media. No one's doing anything in person anymore. It's always on Zoom or Skype or over the phone or texting, and we're really losing that sense of human to human, like in-person connection. So if you're someone that is currently struggling with this, I have been there. If you go back and watch my first YouTube video, I was so incredibly nervous that I had hives all over my chest. I sounded awful. I looked awful. I looked like a wreck. So I am just proof that the more you practice something, the better you get. Even now, sometimes I mess up. You shouldn't feel like you have to be perfect, but practice makes things better, and you will get so much better the more you practice. So the more you do something, the more comfortable you get. So practice, I don't think ever makes perfect, but you do get a lot better the more that you do something. So if you're someone that struggles with this, I recommend pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, getting uncomfortable for a little bit. So if you're someone that currently struggles with this, don't feel bad. It doesn't come naturally to everyone. In fact, it doesn't come naturally to most people. So just push yourself out of your comfort zone, get a little bit uncomfortable, and practice those social skills, because I promise they make a huge difference, especially when you're meeting someone for the very first time. Number 8 is a sense of humor. So not necessarily just making her laugh 24/7, but if you can kind of laugh at yourself, not take things super seriously, and just be a very casual, chill person, I think that automatically makes you more attractive. So of course, having a sense of humor, girls absolutely love it. If you can make me laugh, you win in my book. Every guy in my life I love so much because of the fact that they can make me laugh. So it's something that is important to me, but I feel like a lot of girls feel this way. If you can make her laugh, it just makes her feel more comfortable around you. It kind of just helps build a connection between people and allows you to feel more comfortable around them, more so versus someone who's super serious all the time. I actually received a death threat from someone because I said that girls like guys that are funny. But it's true, and I stand by that. So sorry guys, you might not like to hear this one, but it's true. If you can make a girl laugh, if a girl can laugh with you, it's gonna be good for you. So number 9, we have your space. So if a girl comes to your house or she's in your car, she's gonna notice how clean it is or how clean it isn't. It's attractive when a guy keeps his space clean, organized, tidy. You don't have to be American Psycho level here, but just keep your spaces tidy. Your house, your apartment, your car, places that you spend some time in, keep them looking nice. It's a huge turn off when a girl comes into your space and it's messy, dirty, just not a fun place to be, because it's also a surefire sign that she's going to be cleaning up after you like your mom, which no girl wants to do. So keep your stuff tidy, keep your spaces organized. Not only will it be attractive to other people that come into your space, but it will also be a nicer place for you to live in. So more than just if your spaces are clean, I think a girl also notices the things that you have in your space. So do you collect something? Are you really into art? Do you play guitar? So she's gonna be able to tell a lot about you just by the stuff that you have in your apartment. If you have a lot of books, things like that that just make you look more intelligent, well-read, like a well-rounded individual, you're gonna look great. And regardless of what you're into, what you collect, what you have in your space, I think just showing that you have interests, showing that you have hobbies, that you're into things, just makes you look more well-rounded and makes you look more attractive, and girls really like that. So guys, that is all I have for the first things girls actually notice about guys. You'll notice that when you first meet someone, it is mostly about the way that someone looks, because that's all you have to base anything off of, is how they look. But once you start getting to know someone, you notice other things come out about them as well. Their personality, their sense of humor, what they're into, what they don't like. That is going to ultimately determine if a person likes you or not. So it's not all about looks. I don't want you guys to think it's all about looks. And it's also not about some of the things that I think you guys get so fixated on, like what kind of car you drive, how much money you have in your bank account. A girl can't see your bank account. She sees how you carry yourself and how you interact with other people, and ultimately that's going to make you more attractive than any amount of money you have. She's going to care more about how well you take care of your things and how financially responsible you are versus what kind of luxury car you drive. I think there are so many things you guys think that girls care about so much, when in reality, sure, maybe some girls care about it, but the majority of girls just want to be with someone who is kind, who treats them well, who is financially responsible regardless of how much money you make, and who makes them feel secure and happy. So keep that in mind. There are things you can do to make your appearance look better. There are also things you can do to just make yourself a well-rounded, better person altogether. So keep that in mind. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for when I release new content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.